In today's tutorial, we're going to be covering power orders. Within power orders, we have several bullet points to cover. We're going to discuss the Orders tab, how to place single orders or runoff orders, placing PowerPlans, which is also like an order set. We'll also discuss how to place a plan on a patient before they arrive. We're going to discuss modifications of orders. The only orders that we can modify are IV solutions and patient care orders. We can discuss discontinuation of orders, discontinuing a power plan. We're also going to discuss how we can discontinue and reorder an order. We're going to discuss orders reconciliation, how to clean up our orders. We're going to cover the transfer to, and we're going to complete the tutorial with admit to order. We're going to log in with our username and password. Once inside PowerChart, let's go ahead and open up our patient's chart. We have a patient ready. Once inside the patient's chart, to get to orders, we're going to need to go to the Orders tab, located in the menu. The Orders tab contains lots of information. The View pane, which has all of our plans in it, we'll discuss that later in the tutorial. Our single orders here, anytime an order is placed on a patient, these areas will be bolded with a check. And you can navigate straight to those areas. So if you have a patient with lots of orders on the right-hand side, you can navigate straight to it by selecting the section you'd like to go to. Across the top of our orders pane, it shows our filters that we're viewing. Currently, we're looking at all active orders. If we'd like to change this filter, left-click on the word, and then in our display, it can drop down and select what we'd like to see. Typically, what we like to start with is all orders and all statuses, so that way we can view any discontinued and active orders on a patient. So we're going to go ahead and apply. This will show us all orders and all statuses on this patient. Notice the black check marks indicate the orders that are actually active on the patient. Our ampicillin has been canceled. So under status, we can see what status the order's in. And under details, we can get full details. When their doses are, when they start, etc. Let's go ahead and jump into single orders on a patient. To add an order, we're going to click on the plus and add sign. And this will take you to the ordering pane. In the search box, it goes and looks at orders in the entire order catalog. Our search field is defaulted to contained, but if you know what an order starts with, you can start with that. We're going to keep ours on the contains. In our type, we currently have our orders pulling from inpatient orders, and that's where we'd like it to stay. But you can also get to document medication by history and prescriptions from here. For today, we're just going to keep it on inpatient. We're going to just minimize this screen. Below, you're going to see folders. These are favorite folders that have been set up in this area. For Go Live, we're going to have folders that have common orders, So this is just another easy way to search for orders. You can click on the folder and you'll see the orders that have been saved to those folders. To go back, you just select the up arrow. The house is going to take you to the home. The star will take you to your favorites. The folder is going to take you to your most common folder setups. Let's go ahead and add an order to the catalog. So let's add a CBC. The first screen that's going to pop up, it's called My Search. It's kind of like a Google search for orders. So if you see the order that you're looking for, you can simply highlight it and select it. If you don't see it, hold the cursor behind CBC and hit enter. And it's going to show you all the CBCs in the system. We're going to select a CBC. This screen is what's called an order sentence screen. These are pre-completed order sentences that have been set up for the ease of ordering. Let's go ahead and collect a routine today blood draw. The T stands for today, N stands for now. Just select OK. For this patient, we're also going to go ahead and order an X-ray. So I know that the X-ray starts with a half contained XR, but I want to do a chest X-ray. I want to do a chest to view bedside. I also want to order a dressing change for my patient. So if I type in dressing and select dressing change. Let's go ahead and add a medication to our patient. I'm going to pick an ampicillin. Again, we have our order sentences. These are the most common for this medication. We're going to pick what's closest to what we want, and we can always modify. So I want to order 1 gram of Q4, but I'm going to click select Q6 and change the details. Let's go ahead and click done. Once we've selected all of our orders, they go into what's called a scratch pad, and that's this area here. So we haven't signed them yet, but they are in a holding status until we fill out the details that we need to. For dressing change, I want to give some special instructions to the nurse. That those need to be wet to dry, and I'd like them to do this twice a day. For my ampicillin, instead of Q6, let's go ahead and order Q4. Notice that when you select this change, it's going to appear in the details line above. Our CBC, we're going to go ahead and order that for today, and we're okay with that frequency. If we wanted it in the AM, we'd go AM draw, and it would kick the order out to the next morning at 5 a.m. But all of our radiology exams, anytime you see a blue circle with a white X, that means there's missing required details for that order. That means there's missing required details for that order. For radiology exams, they always want to know a reason for the exam. We're going to do a chest X-ray for a cough. Once we have satisfied all the details for our orders, we're going to go ahead and sign it. Now our orders show in a processing status. We want to go ahead and refresh it. We're going to click Refresh Orders. These have now gone to an ordered status. Let's change our filter. Let's do All Orders, All Statuses. Now we get a full view of everything that we have ordered for this patient. Single orders could be typically used for rounding. Now we're going to discuss PowerPlans. PowerPlans is a terminology used to describe an order set. To find a PowerPlan, we're going to hit our plus add again. And then because I know that I'm going to admit to an OB admission, I'm going to select the OB L&D admission. Notice that the PowerPlans are in the yellow box with the triangle, square, and circle. A power plan is a grouping of orders. Notice that on the left-hand side, checks are what we call pre-checks. So these are things that have been indicated through design that you do 80% of the time. These can be unchecked, so if you don't want to be notified after triage, you can deselect it, and that will not order that. For our patient, we're going to change from a clear liquid to an NPO, and we actually want to change that order sentence to except for ice chips. So we can hit the drop down and it'll select except for ice chips. To hide the details, we're going to select triangle. In PowerPlans, we have included what's called a subphase. So any of the yellow icons that look almost like dice, that's called a subphase. It's an order set that's within an order set. So it makes it shorter for the provider so you don't have as much scrolling. And you can select it if it's applicable to that patient. Our patient's GBS positive for today, so we're going to go ahead and select OB GBS management. We're going to do PNG, IV once, and then we're also going to have Q4 hours throughout delivery. So to return to the main OB admission, I'm going to select return to OB admission. This takes us to our next topic, which is planned power plans. A power plan can be placed on a patient with a pre-hosp encounter from the office. So if we knew that test 1 Shore was coming over for induction in 2 days, as the physician, as the provider, I can go ahead and plan the power plan so that way when the patient arrives, nursing would initiate. To put a plan in a plan state, select sign, and it's going to say we have some missing required details in this power plan. Do we want to continue signing? We're going to say yes. And what's going to happen is that when it's time to initiate that plan, that missing required detail will become available for the nurse to fill in. Now I know for this particular plan, our missing required detail has to do with our oxytocin. So we've deselected that. Let's go ahead and say that our patient's in their final destination. So once they've reached their floor, or you're admitting straight on the floor, you'd want to go ahead and sign and initiate the power plan. Initiating the power plan actually sends the orders to all the different departments and activates them and makes them live. Let's go ahead and initiate this power plan. The next screen, you'll notice we have light bulbs that have now indicate that those are the orders that we have selected. We're going to sign, and then once more, it's going to confirm that these are the orders that we want to sign. We're going to sign again. This is our duplicate order alert. So anytime we have duplicate orders in a plan, this is going to appear. With this system, sometimes it doesn't differentiate between a straight cath PRN and an indwelling PRN. Both of these have been checked on this, and we want them both to be PRN. So we're going to order anyway. And then finalize your power plan by selecting sign. We do a refresh, and over here on the left-hand side, in our view pane, you'll notice that now our OB L&D has been initiated. If I wanted to go into this OB admission and see some of the orders that I didn't see the first time, if we wanted to maybe make a modification while the patient was in the hospital, we could use the view excluded components, the light bulbs, and it's going to show you all the orders that you did not select the first time. So unlike a paper order set, you can't go back to it and make modifications to it after signing. With a power plan, you can. Just simply deselect this and it just goes to showing you what was ordered. If we wanted to maybe see a merge view as we're ordering it, not to make any duplicates, select merge view. And this is going to show you the inpatient orders along with our PowerPlan orders. PowerPlan orders are indicated by the icons, the yellow. Other inpatient orders are indicated by the light blue check marks. Alright, so let's go in and talk about modification of orders. Orders that can be modified again are your IV solution and also your patient care. So I know this patient has some IV solution that's ordered, so I'm going to click to that section. It brings it to the top. For this patient, it looks like we have 2 LRs ordered. So I'm going to reconcile that, and I'm going to discontinue one. And then I want to change my LR rate from 125 to 75. I do this by right-clicking on the order, select Modify, and I'm going to go down to my rate. I'm going to highlight it, enter the new rate, and now I'm going to go ahead and sign my orders. In the scratchpad, it shows that I'm discontinuing 1 LR, and then I'm modifying the other order to 75 cc's. Again, probably not real life, but it gives you a good example of how to modify an IV fluid. And then we're going to refresh. And now it shows ordered 75 cc's an hour, and our 125 cc's is discontinued. So let's move forward, and let's say that we want to discontinue a whole PowerPlan, an entire order set on a patient. This could be managed from your view pane. You right-click on the plan, select Discontinue. The screen that appears shows you the order, and if you want to keep any of these orders, you'd select them over on the left-hand side. If you want to discontinue them all, you just simply click OK. And then go ahead and sign your orders. And we're going to sign them one more time, and that's what we want to discontinue. Select Refresh. Now it shows our OB administration as discontinued, and that is how you discontinue a PowerPlan. Our next topic is discontinuing and reordering orders. Let's say we're going to go to our lab orders. These can't be modified. I'm going to change my filter to show just my active orders. And then it's going to show me all the active orders once I do that. So if I go under my laboratory orders, and let's say we want to order a CBC, we want to cancel this one, but order one for in the morning. Right-click on the order, and we're going to use our cancel and reorder functionality. So select Cancel and Reorder. Now we're going to change this to an AM draw. Select Sign, and now we have discontinued the one from today, and we've entered one to be drawn tomorrow. Select Sign, and now that's been signed and reordered. The next topic surrounds order reconciliation. To actually truly reconcile our orders, orders will remain active until you act upon them. There is no resume all previous orders button or discontinue all orders button. This will be the job of everyone who takes care of the patients. This is everyone's job. So we can go through our orders and see all of our active orders. I want to discontinue the dressing change. I want to discontinue the aspirin. I can sign these, and then I'm going to sign again. So if my patient was moving from the floor to the operating room and then back to the floor, and I want to send a message to the nursing to let them know that I've reconciled the patient and it's perfectly fine. So I'm going to click the plus sign we're going to select our orders, reconcile order, sign, and that gives a message to nursing that orders have been reconciled. So I didn't necessarily have to go in and discontinue, but we went in, we reconciled a couple of orders, and the patient's okay to be transferred back to their same room. Let's go to our next topic, which is transfer to orders. So let's say we want to transfer a patient to another unit. And we're not necessarily wanting to discontinue a complete power plan in all their orders, but we have reconciled their orders. We're going to hit the plus add. It takes us to our ordering window. We're going to find the transfer to order. Notice that we have missing required details. Missing required details are indicated by the asterisk next to it. So what we want to do is indicate where we want this patient to be transferred to. We're going to send this patient to a medical unit. And yes, we have reviewed the orders. So again, this is a message to nursing that we have reconciled our orders and the patient is ready to transport. Select sign, and then now our order is complete. The last topic in this module is to discuss the admit to orders. The admit to order, it's going to take the place of the diamond sheet. We're going to go to the plus add, select admit, admit to, and then missing required details are indicated by yellow. So our blue X again reminds us that we have order details that are not complete. It's not going to let us sign this unless we complete this. So the required field is where do you want to admit me to? This time we're going to go to a neuro unit. And what is my status going to be? So the three statuses are inpatient, outpatient observation, or an outpatient stay. For our patient today, we want them to be inpatient. So this is what's going to indicate what kind of beds you need and what kind of status. Select sign, and your order is complete. This concludes the PowerOrders module.